Well, hi everybody, and welcome to Moodle Support Theater. In this episode, we're going to continue building a basic quiz and concentrate on adding questions. In our last episode, when we got to quiz 3, we discovered no questions had been added yet. So to keep things nice and clean, I'm going to come to a brand new shell. Here we go, and you're going to notice in the left-hand column we have administration, and from administration, select the triangle next to Question Bank. You're going to see 4 choices. You can create and view questions, arrange questions into categories, import by uploading a file you create or from a textbook publisher, and finally, export into another course. To get started, let's create categories to hold your questions. If we organize them by chapter or topic, it's going to make it easy to find the ones we want to include to use in our test. So let's select categories. First thing we need to do is go to the parent category and make sure we are at the top. Then we're going to name our category, and I suggest keeping it very simple. I'm simply going to call this Chapter 1. You may put information as far as the category. You don't have to, and frankly, it's not really necessary. I'm going to select Add Category. And we're going to look up in the upper left-hand area, and we'll see Chapter 1 has appeared. The 0 indicates how many questions are currently in this category, and you may remove them or use the gear symbol if you have a typographical error and you want to make some changes. Well, now that you've got the idea of how to do categories, and you can add as many as you wish, you're ready to add questions. So let's come to the questions. There's 3 ways to do it, really. You can create the questions manually, and that's here. We're going to do that in just a minute. You can adapt a quiz, create it as a Word document, and then import those questions in one batch, or you can upload files that are provided by the publisher. Let's start off looking at how you can create a question manually. We're going to come to questions, as we've done, and we're going to choose Create a New Question. Now, the 2 most commonly used are multiple choice and true false. You may also do an essay, although there is a little extra work, planning and manual grading, so touch base with us here in CIS if you're planning to use them. I'm going to use true and false, and I'm going to put a dot in the area required. Select Add. Now, the question name is for your benefit. The students will not see it. It is mandatory. It's a way for you to identify this question. I'm going to call it a key point, as it is a very key point to our chapter. Question text. I'm just going to type that in. I'm back. We've done that. Leave the default mark at 1 and come down, and this is where you will put the correct answer, true or false, using the drop-down. In this case, the answer is false. I am done. I'm going to select Save Changes, and that'll take us back to our Create a Question page, and notice it's highlighted in green. It will again have editing ability, and we'll show you a little bit later how to check these out. Multiple choice questions have a few more moving parts. Let's create a new question, and let's make it a multiple choice. I'm going to select Add. And again, we're going to make sure we're in the correct area, Chapter 1. We built those categories for a purpose. Now let's fill them with content. I'm going to say that this is an author point. As far as the question text, I'm going to type this in. I flew to Portland recently, so we're going to use an airline motif for our questions. Type the question in the area, and then you'll go down and put potential answers below it. We're going to show you that. There are 3 options for the feedback box for you to consider as well. I'm going to go away, do some typing, and then come on back and we'll talk more about this. Okay, we're back. Let's pick up where we left off. I've added some content, and as I promised, we'll come down, leave the default mark as we did. And before we get to the choices or the answers, there's 3 things that you should consider. Will more than one answer be allowed for this question? Do you want to have the answers presented randomly? And that is the default, you're going to notice. How do you want the numbering to appear on the choices? I'm going to leave the settings the way they are, and we have put answers in there. Choice number 3 is the correct answer. It's going to get 100% of the credit. The other two answers are wrong, and they're receiving no credit. When you're done, come to the bottom of the page. Notice you can have up to 5 choices and add even more blanks if you wish, and let's save this information. Okay, here's author point, and notice this magnifying glass. I promised you we'd play with this when we came back. Let's select preview. This shows us what the question is going to look like. There's a lot of other information you can come in and find out more about if you wish, but for now you're really ready to go. I'm going to select close the preview. We're back here on our create a question page, and this could get pretty tedious. So rather than creating questions one at a time, you can format a quiz in a Word doc and import a whole bunch of questions at one time. We're going to cover that in our next video, so come on back as we continue developing the basic quiz. Oh, and one more thing before we go. Did anybody notice the mistake I made in this video? It's a common mistake. I've been doing this for 8 or 9 years, and I managed to do it. So I guess you might have the same difficulty. So come on back. We'll talk about how to fix this mistake for when you make it working with the quiz. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.